Hi, this is the video 2 of our SQL mock series. So today I'm going to take an SQL mock interview with one of my students, which is called Abdul. He's currently working in Infosys from last 4 years. So let's wait for him so that he can join the call, and then we're going to start the interview call. You can introduce yourself, like maybe your name and your city and your skills you are currently working, what exactly you're doing, like in a short introductions. Maybe also you can include your educations as well. Okay.
Yeah, so good morning, Mr. Nazir. So I am Sheikh Abdul Khader, and I am an software engineer working in an Infosys Limited, which is based out of Hyderabad. My campus is Hyderabad, and I was having an experience of 5+ years experience with the technical skills like Python, Java, and SQL, and little bit knowledge on SQL. And so I am from Hyderabad, and I have completed my education Master of Technology from Mohan Babu University, Tirupati. And currently, I was pursuing my online degree also in MSc in AI. So this is little about myself, Mr. Najir.
Okay, so right now you're working as a software engineer in Infosys, or what is your designations right now?
So my designation in Infosys is technology lead.
Okay, so it's more about like is it data domain or like more about development?
I was into the data domain.
Okay, perfect. So let's start. Okay, so first I would like to know like how you will rate yourself in SQL on the scale of like 1 to 10 and why?
So on a scale of 1 to 10, I would rate myself around 7. And I was using the SQL part on to my daily day-to-day activities in my current organization, and I have a bit wide experience of SQL, getting the retrieving the data from the tables and getting the insights and making the reports of kind. So I have much knowledge on SQL.
Okay, so where is the learning scope? Because you have not given a 10 or maybe 9 or 8. So where you feel like you should learn more or build more confidence?
So the thing is, in an environment of IT industry, where if you join any organization, so there is a pre-existence of work. It is there, pre-existence of queries already written. So in our day-to-day activities, we'll be using them in our day activities. So there is no much scope to use our knowledge which you have obtained
Yes,
into
yeah,
practical. So where is the lag, or where is the comma we will find out is we are not writing the new queries. We are
correct.
not writing new stored procedures. We are not
Hmm.
writing the new CTEs.
So kind of forget that syntax and all, I think.
Yeah, so that is the thing. Uh,
Got
um,
it. So I guess that
we
makes
know
sense.
we know theoretical part, but we are
Got
lagging
it.
it.
The logical part, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So let's start with some simple problems, maybe theoretical problem statement. Okay,
Yeah.
let's check like how much understanding you have. So I'll be starting with the maybe I would say medium to hard theoretical question. Okay, so what is the difference between views and materialized view? Do you know?
So the view, I am sure the view is a kind of result set where we have obtained from our select query. We will use it further whenever we require, because it will be useful for a breakdown of complex query. And we can the syntax, we can say it as the as view, as a view name we will give, and we can call it is whenever required the view name.
Without writing
Uh,
the query again and
Without
again.
writing the whole complex query, we can write the view name, and we can call the and retrieve the data, and we can use wherever we require this data. I'm not sure about the
Materialized
materialistic
view.
view.
Okay,
Yeah.
no issue. So I'll explain that. So views is basically what usually happens when you write a SQL complex query. Let's say you're joining 3 to 4 5 tables, so many different things, logic you have written, and you kind of got a nice result. Okay, now you want that nice results kind of
Yes.
every time. It could be like maybe last 6 months sale of different regions come together. Okay, you created the view. Next time you simply select everything from the view, you get the view, right? Data. Now,
Yes.
talking about the difference between the materialized view when you are working with a really large data set. Okay, so whenever you select something from the view, usually what usually happen, SQL will kind of run all those SQL query from the database and then get you the data. You don't see it. you just see that, okay, I'm getting it from the table, basically whatever the name you have given. Okay, that is the traditional view which you call it. Okay, now when we talk about materialized view, what usually happens for if you are working with the really large data set, maybe it's kind of billion rows or maybe more than that. Okay, so if you have like maybe 2 or 3 or 5 tables, we have done the joins and everything. So whenever you would run that in the server, because you would select it from the view, maybe there are 5 employees who are getting it from the view. So every one is basically executing that query and that is getting the data from the server, correct? So that makes the process little slow. Okay, because there will be multiple requests that is going to be sent to the server. Now, when you talk about the materialized view, what usually happens, let's say at this point of time, I'm creating a materialized view, like same as like I'm view I'm creating, but what will happen, it is going to store that data in the database. Okay, like in your whatever the machines you are using, is a cloud or in the local machines. So it is going to store that in the database. So next time, if you are querying something from that view, it is not going to send the request to the server. You're directly getting it from the store data, which was stored in the database, like it is in the local machine or it is in the database. You can say the database, it kind of created a kind of table and from it you're getting it. Okay, now the difference between materialized view and the view is that materialized view is going to kind of make this process faster if you're working with a really large data. Okay. Yeah. And same if you talk about views. So for view, you would need to kind of SQL would need to run those all the query, join the tables, then get you the data. So that is going to take basically a longer time. Okay. But for the materialized view, one drawback is that if there are some recent updates, let's say new records added, that is not going to be kind of added because it is going to take that snapshot moment when you created that materialized view. So for that, we have a feature which is called refresh. So you need to say refresh materialized view and the view name. Okay, that's whenever you do refresh, it get basically recreate that view with the real latest data and store it again in the database. Okay, so this is fine. Again, great answer. Thank you. Let's see some more simple logic understanding. Okay, so what is the difference you find between union and union all?
So union, so this is a part of sets. So union is a kind of operation that happens on a SQL select statement. The distinct rows of a table will be selected in a union operation, whereas union all, it will select all the rows of a table 1 or table 2 or table 3, whatever the tables we have given in our select statement. It will
Include the
retrieve all
duplicates.
the data, or, retrieve all the data from the tables.
Yeah, that's perfect. And if I combine it here, let's say union or union all and the join. So what is the core difference between these two things, if you can explain?
So it's a kind where the joins are the part to retrieve the data from the two tables which are much needed to the user. Union all and union combines the data of all the columns where we have left join, right join. So particular operation, what kind of data we need from the two tables, we will identify what columns need to be get. We will use particularly join, whereas union and union all to combine the data, whole data from the tables, we will use these two sets operations.
Okay, great. Just to add on this is that I would say in a simpler way, if I understand. So it is going to be when you do union combining two select statement. Okay. Yes. Now one condition is here is that both select statement has to be same number of columns and same data types, right? Yes. It could be a different data. It is fine. Okay. So when you do union in the first table, let's say you are selecting 3 or 4 columns, and in the second statement as well, in the select statement, you would need to select the same number of columns and the same data types in the position as well. If it is correct, then you get the data combined. Basically, first you get the data from the first select statement, then after it, the next row, you get it basically the data from the second select statement. Okay, so that is fine. When you talk about union all, it basically also include the duplicates. Let's say in the first select statement, there is a record maybe by Abdul. So you bought something and your record is there. On the second table also mistakenly we added that record. So that is going to be eliminated if you use a union. If you use union all, that is going to be added. So your record is going to be added twice. Okay. So this is the union. Now, if I talk about join, in the join, the data are combined in the column wise. Okay, so the number of column will increase, the row will not increase, correct? The row number would remain same. The column will increase based on the key. Like let's say you are looking for the customer information based on the customer ID. So when we kind of normalize the data, so we create different tables. So it is going to combine all the tables column together so that based on the key, I can find whatever I'm looking for, right? So, and the good thing is that in join, you can decide which are the columns you want to select, correct? From which are the different tables. Perfect. So let's you're using any tool tool pad at the moment, maybe MySQL Server, Postgres, anything
Yes.
where you can write
Yes.
queries. Okay, so you can share your screen and maybe I'll give you a data set, small data sets, a query, and maybe we will solve one or two problems. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
So you can first share your screen. I will just make you the presenter. I think you're already okay. Are you able to share it?
Yes, able to share.
Okay, perfect. Okay, yeah, take your time.
Are you able to see my screen, right?
Let me check. Yeah, I can see now. Perfect. So you can just open the tools where you can write the queries. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe create a small demo database, and then I'm going to basically give you one simple SQL query, which you can just copy paste. It's going to create two tables. One is called department and one is called employee, and it's also going to insert some records. Yeah, just name it demo or something, whatever you want. So the query I have given in the chat, so you can just copy paste it from there and
Yeah. So we have given
employee table and the sales table, okay, which is going to create basically, simple employee table and the sales table, and it's also going to insert some records. Just execute the entire query in one go. I think at the end there are some text which may cause this issue. Yeah, this and this. I can now execute it again. It should work. Line 1, yeah, this is causing issue. So yeah, okay,
yeah.
perfect. Yep. So right now you can understand this data. Okay. So very
Yes.
simple data set. What we have it here, we have two tables. One is called department and one is called the employee. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, do you know the self join concept?
Yes.
Okay. Can you explain what would be the difference between self join and the cross join?
So self join is a kind. So say in the self join operation, we will take the column, yeah, common column from the table and join the same table.
Okay. And how about the cross join?
So cross join, I'm not sure.
Okay. Okay, no problem. So I will explain the cross join. Okay, maybe after we solve this problem. Okay.
Yeah.
So here, if you try to understand this data, okay, you can hide the database and everything from the left side. That is okay. The database information from the left side, left. the main. Yeah, I can hide it everything. Okay, fine. So here, if you see the first table, it has informations about the employee. Okay, now I can just scroll it up a little bit to the first record. No, here in the result sets. I think the initial result. Yeah. So right now we have this employee ID, employee name, salary, department, and the manager ID. So we'll be solving one of the very common interview ask problems. Okay. So the problem is that if you see here, few manager doesn't, I mean, few employee doesn't have a manager ID. So obviously that's a hint that they are itself is a manager. Okay. So
Yes.
imagine that you're working in a company. So your data and your manager data and your manager data are also maintained in the same table, which is called employee. Okay.
Yeah.
Now for us, the task is that we need to find out the employee along with their manager informations, like it could be the manager name and the manager's salary. Okay.
Yeah.
So first I would want you to solve this using self join. And again, I would help you wherever you were stuck. And the second, do you know recursive CTE?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so you can also solve it using a recursive CTE. Again, if it doesn't work in SQL Server, that is okay. You can just write down the syntax. The first, let's solve it using self join. Okay, let's see how we can tackle this using self join. What is going to be your approach? Anything, it is fine. We just need to select few columns. That is okay, like the employee name, salary, and then their kind of manager information. Whenever you're stuck, you can let me know. I will help you. Okay.
So this is star will select all the rows, and we have given EMP table as
Alias E.
alias,
Okay.
and we have used a self join, and
Can you
the raw,
can you put this join to the next line so that just to make it more clear?
and we have EMP ID and manager ID.
Yes.
So it will check for the EMP ID and their manager ID, and which have the data. It will reflect. We will get in the result set.
So do you think, do you feel confidence here, like it's going to work?
Here the error is not sure.
Okay. When you do a join, how many tables do you need?
We need 2 tables.
So you have only selected one table. Where is
So
the second table?
So we have a department.
No, department is not required for this problem statement. So when I'm saying when you are joining, even you are doing a self join, you are joining with the same table, but you need the same table one more time. Okay. The first table you have named it as a E.
E.
Okay.
And
then
we need to name this an E1.
Yes. No, you will again select the second table. You'll be giving E1 as a name. On will come obviously after that, right? First you select the table, then you give the on. Employee as E1. Okay, let's see. Okay, now in the next, yeah, now this is going to make sense, right? Now here there is a problem. Okay, the reason that you don't see this the result is that, say, you're trying to look for the employee ID Okay, now can you just query just the employee table once again? Just the initial part, select everything from the employee. Yeah, this part. If you see here, see, first of all, we need to understand what we are trying to achieve here. We are trying to find out, forget about SQL and the queries and everything. Let's say you have just a one table, which is called the employee table. If I give you this employee ID for the employee ID second, which is called Bob, employee ID is manager ID one. So for this one, you need to find more information with using this key one, correct?
Yeah.
So you will take the one from here, like the first table, which is called employee table. And in the second table, you would look in the employee ID. So can you imagine the join that you will need to do is that manager ID, based on the manager ID, you are looking for the employee ID in the second table.
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess what you have given from the first table, instead of considering the manager ID, you are considering for the employee ID. So that's not going to work because let's say you are the first employee, you are the second employee, your name is Abdul here, and for
Yeah.
you we know the manager ID is one. Okay, now we
Yeah.
will take the one, we will go to the same employee table, try to find out who has this one ID, correct?
Yeah.
And in which column we will search in we will search in the employee ID column. So
Yeah.
we will find out that the employee is Alice, so we will tell okay, Alice is your managers. Okay, so yes, so in the second table we would do the join. From the first table we will take the manager ID, from the second table we will take the employee ID, so that then you will get the results.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, because based on the manager ID, you are taking the manager ID, going to the second table, then checking in the employee ID column, and then you are getting the results. I hope you got the logic here, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, now this is fine. You are kind of getting the informations. Now what we are interested is that some information from the second table, like maybe the manager name. Okay, so how you will be getting the manager? Now you are getting all this, all the column, everything is fine here. So again, if in case we want to select specific column from the table two, so we can just say E1 of maybe the employee name, that's going to be the manager name. And whatever you look from the employee one table, you can select it. I mean, just you need to reference it properly, right? So I guess this kind of solve the problem here, correct?
Yeah.
So can you only select, maybe I want to see the employee name, salary, and their manager name and manager salary. How are you going to select it?
The employee name and salary.
Yeah, manager name and manager salary for that. All I mean for this employee. So what I'm looking for is the employee name and employee salary, and that employee's manager name and manager salary. You already you're returning everything, but I don't need all the columns. I only need 4 columns.
Yeah.
So see, right now you are combining two tables. One table is E1, which is giving you like column still manager ID. And one
Yeah.
table is called E1, that is giving employee to the manager ID, the second part, right? So if you need something from the first table, you select it as a E and then employee ID and the salary. If you need something from the second table, you select as a E1 and employee ID and salary, right? You
Yeah.
just need to give the proper aliases here.
Select employee name, salary. So these are two which comes from manager.
The first we would need the employee, right? The first, this is coming from the employee table. See, the E table is containing the everything, right? From the E
Yes. Yes.
table, you would be getting, see, right now you using select star, you are getting everything. If you see the result set, from the result
Yeah.
set, if you try to understand which are the column you are looking for. So first, this employee ID and the salary, and then these are basically the employee, okay? And their
Yeah.
manager is basically here. This employee ID name, this name is the manager, and this salary that you see, it's kind of that manager salary, right? So we need all these 4 column. How you're going to select it?
So those two columns are also having the same name, right?
Same name, yeah, obviously, but they are coming from a second table. That table is a E1.
Yeah. Got it.
You got it?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. So here, this kind of solve the problem here. Okay. Now, just a little add-on here. Let's say we want to only see the employee who has a salary which is more than their manager's salary. So how
Okay.
do you think you can only select from this query, only select those employee who has a salary which is more than their manager's salary? Okay, yeah, perfect. So here, if you see, we are only selecting those employee which has a salary which is more than their manager ID's manager salary, correct?
Yes.
Okay, great, amazing. Now, do you think you can solve this using recursive CTE, the same problem?
Yeah, we can do.
We don't want to see the kind of the salary part. I just want to see the employee name, their kind of salary, and their manager name. That's it using recursive CTE. What is going to be your approach, and how do you think you can achieve it? So recursive city is kind of you can say considered as a, if you need some hint, so it's kind of a union. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm saying the recursive city is kind of union. We use
Hmm.
union in the recursive city. So if you just need some hint, if you forget, I can kind of help you to kind of structure the query.
Select. So whereas CDE, CDE is like we will write the select statement and give a separate name, and we will call it whenever we require, right?
Yeah, so that is the difference between city and recursive city. Have you used recursive city?
No, no.
Okay, I guess that's okay, no problem. So we can skip it. You can maybe check later on, let's say how to solve using recursive city. Okay, so
Yeah.
recursive city is basically you can refer itself. In the city, you cannot refer itself the city, but in the recursive city, you can refer itself the city in the query. Okay, maybe you
Okay.
can just check after this. Okay, just maybe keep it hold. So you can maybe check after this call, like what is recursive city? Very important concept, part of advanced SQL, very
Yeah.
useful for maybe the future, kind of interview. You can kind of do some research on it. Okay,
Yeah, sure.
so let's solve. We have, I guess, 4 to 5 minutes more. I want you to solve one more different problems. Okay, I'm not going to give you the data set, but imagine that you have a data set. Okay, so you can
Yeah.
just come at the end of the kind of the notepad. So here, let's say you have you're working with one of the company which is called maybe booking.com or Oyo. Okay, which kind of handles the booking related stuff. So the hotel industry, right?
Yeah.
So right now, your task, you have a table, you can write down the column names. Okay, so you have a table with the column which is called booking ID, BID, you can write.
Okay.
Okay, BID, which is the primary key. You don't need to write the constant again, it's okay. So BID you have, then you have kind of the booking date, B date. Okay, booking date. Then you have next, which is going to be the hotel name. Okay, H name you can write. Okay, hotel name. You have kind of the number of the, you can say the check-in date. Okay, then you have checkout date. Okay, CK you can write. Yeah, so checkout date. Okay, and I guess this will work fine. So we have the date, we have the name, check-in and checkout date. Okay, cool. Now what do you want to find out? We want to find out let's say we want to just imagine you have the data with this all this structure. Okay, we want to find out from every month. Okay, we want to find out the top 3 hotel which has the highest number of stay. So I believe you know the domain. If I talk about check-in, let's say if I do a check-in today, which is a date of like 2nd December, and if I do a check, if my checkout is on kind of 5th December, so my stay is going to be kind of like 3 or 4 days, whatever the day, right? So this is how we find out the kind of date difference. Okay.
Yeah.
Now we need to find out the hotels every month, top 3 hotel with the highest number of stay. It's not the number of booking, but the number of stay. Every month, top 3 hotel, we want to give them some reward. So how you're going to query this from this server? Let's say you have the directly connections with the server with this table with all these columns, and with this all this column you can achieve it. And there is no air constant. Like assume that the data is only for a specific 1 year, and for that specific year, we just want to find out every month the top 3 hotel with the highest number of the stays. If you need some more explanation in the question, I can explain.
No, I got it. So this is one of the part of your project.
Yeah, I guess.
I have watched this. So the logic behind is so here we have hotels. So we need to find from the date we need to extract the year.
Yeah, true.
And from the year
We don't need the year
drag.
because the data is only for 1 year. So we need to extract the month.
So we need to extract the month and count the difference between the days.
Yes. Yeah.
Rank over them.
Yes.
Rank over each month and distinct hotels and rank for each month. We will get the top 3.
Yeah, I guess this may correct. So again, syntax, even if you don't remember, it is okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is the logic. So first logic is that we need 2 things. One is kind of we need the month if the name is already there. If the name is not there, so we would first use the extract functions to get the name.
Yeah.
In MySQL, it could be simply month. In SQL Server, it could be get month name or whatever it is. You get the month name, and then you get the hotel restaurant name directly. Okay, so you will be doing a group by the month and the hotel. So for each hotel and for each month, inside each month, for each hotel, you have a different numbers. Now our measure is basically the days difference. So we need to get the days difference, which is going to be kind of, if you're using different again, the RDBMS, the syntax would be different, but we need to find out that number of the days between the 2 dates. Okay, then what we will do is that we will do a sum. Now we will need to do a group by first 2 logic, which is going to be kind of the month and the the hotel. So in a combination for every month, we have all the possible hotels and their number of stays as a sum. I will just need to do a group by this 2. Then at the end, we will be using a dense rank because we are looking for the top 3. Now there could be like 4 hotel as well made with the same number of stays. So it is better to use a dense rank, right? Once you have the dense rank, then we can simply kind of filter the data using from 1 to 3, right? So this is how we will be achieving these results. Now the question was asked in one of the interview. That's the reason I have kind of included this question. This was asked to me as well. Very I mean I would say in the past a few years back, and also recently it was asked to one of my student as well. So in interview with Make My Trip. Okay. So again, this is a very simple, I would say. It could be the problem with the in each category, we need to find out the best selling product. It could be in each category or in each region or each state, we need to find out the most return product. Okay, so in any possible, you can say question, the solution is going to be the same logic which you need to apply here. Okay. So I guess this is it for this interview, and thank you so much again for joining in. If you want to ask anything else, you can definitely go ahead and ask, and I will just maybe share my kind of a little bit suggestion or feedback, whatever you can call about this call. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
So anything you want to ask before that?
Yeah, before shall we end the recording or?
No, it's okay. Recording will continue. So suggestion would be kind of in the part of this.
Yeah. So I will also looking for the transition, and I have watched your 10 project series. It was
Okay.
amazing. And the last question was a part of that. I have watched your 10 project series, and I have designed own reports for my kind,
Okay.
and it was absolutely good. And yeah, I was looking, and in the future, like I was starting to brush up myself. Mostly, I will be reaching out to you. But
Okay.
initially, this opportunity has come to meet you.
Yeah, so we got 300 plus kind of
Yeah,
candidates, but somehow I just applied some filters. So the people who are kind of comfortable with all the kind of, yes, you can see parameters. So I kind of selected few. Again, I would not be able to select everyone because I also work full time. So it's going to be a little challenging, but I just hope to share my knowledge and your knowledge, like other candidate knowledge through the video, so that maybe something somebody can kind of learn. And I also I'm kind of collecting the questions using some Instagram post, so the people can share their recent interview questions if they have been given any questions, so which we can
yeah.
include, and that's going to basically help the community. Okay, perfect. And thank you so much again for making out time from your busy schedules, and I know it's
And
working. Hmm.
Mr. Nazir, I have one more question. So in the recent kinds of scenarios changing, so what is your view on their roles? So data is a common. We have data is a
Hmm.
common, and around the data we have different kind of job roles:
Roles, yeah.
data analyst, business analyst, data scientist,
Engineer.
and
Hmm.
data engineer, data
Hmm.
architect. We have,
Cloud
and
engineering,
beyond
correct.
that we have ML. So how would you explain in detail to a new candidate who wants to jump into the data ocean?
Okay.
So based upon his behavioral and his adaptive nature, so a candidate how is fit into the particular job category,
Okay, great.
so
I
that
think
he can learn and more and progress towards the reaching of the job
growth.
profile.
Got it. So I guess this question makes sense. And again, I have seen like a lot of people are asking similar question. So what I believe here now depends again two things. Okay, one is the person which is coming from a tech background and non-tech background. Okay,
Yeah,
again coming talking about the data. Data will be there tomorrow as well, and it will increase with times. Okay, we
yeah,
would obviously need more people to manage it, build the data architect, build the data pipeline, bring inside the data analyst. Okay, so I would be giving very realistic example to kind of explain this. Okay, so now if somebody is just starting out, okay, as a trying to enter into the data field, it could be they're already working in a different domain, or just freshly they're starting out. So first role that we see easily, I would say available. I mean, right now it is a little difficult, but it was available, easily available just maybe 1 or 2 years back. Again, you can still crack it. So that's called data analyst. Okay. So for data analyst, you would simply need the simple skills like the SQL. You'll be using SQL to kind of querying the data from the actual server. Maybe it's a view, or it's kind of the actual tables, depending on the company and the size and each and everything. So you'll be getting the data, you will do some quick analysis, and you will be kind of like maybe creating a dashboard. You will be maybe connecting a Power BI query. In the Power BI dashboard, you will be writing your SQL query to get the data real time. Okay, that depends how the project is. You'll be building a dashboard and showcasing that to your managers, or maybe the founders or whoever it is, so that they can take decisions to kind of solve that problem. Okay, now I'll be giving one example. Maybe it is kind of they want to find out the brands where the revenue has decreased. It could be the stakeholders from where we're getting less orders, right? It could be anything. So you kind of create a dashboard that shows a different kind of parameters, and they can select and they can visualize the overall progress, growth over time, or kind of the decrease or increase in the revenue. Okay, so this is one thing. So data analyst is going to do this thing. Now they would need to kind of know a little bit of Python, where they would need to know like Python fundamentals, and maybe the kind of little bit of automations. Even nowadays web scraping is kind of one of the very demanding, I would say, skills. Okay, in Python, if you have, you don't need to know ML, because if you are just trying to enter as a data analyst, once you kind of get the projects, sometime maybe you will learn maybe ML concept if in case required by the project. Otherwise, again, it is maybe not mandatory. Okay. So for the data analyst, it's very simple. You would be reporting to the managers. You will be building dashboard. You'll be querying the data. If it is a real time things, let's say if you are working with the company like maybe Zomato or Blinkit. Okay. So maybe they just want to know how many number of iPhone they have sold in last 1 hour. Okay, so for that, you would not be creating a dashboard. You would just write a SQL query, which get the actual data, real-time data in just last 1 hour. Okay, using a simple extract functions, you can achieve it. So that is for the data analyst. I see easy entry to the data analyst. Now talking about the next role, that would is going to be data scientist. So for the data scientist, if you're really good at, I would say, coding and building logic and kind of, I would say, if you enjoy coding and solving problems, then you can go for the data scientist role. But you would need to know ML. So 80% is kind of the ML, what you need to know. Okay, that is for the data scientist. Now, if you talk about maybe the next role that I would recommend, once you enter as a data analyst, like I'm just talking about the new guy who's trying to enter. Once you enter as a data analyst, once you work 1 or 2 or 3 years, and if you are enjoying kind of what you're doing, and if you are kind of every day you're learning something new, maybe clouds you're learning, or maybe Docker or containerization. So I mean, a lot of new things you're learning. So the next target for you should be like, you should be targeting either data engineer. Okay, if you enjoy like the mathematics and solving problems and writing codes, then you can either target the data engineers, a very handsome package, I would say, or maybe the cloud engineers, kind of very pretty much similar. And that's one thing. The second is you can target, even initially also you can target business analysts. Okay, once you can target as a business analyst, or the second you can target as a kind of the data engineers. So business analysts, you would be directly working with the founders and the co-founders, where you will be solving key specific business problems. Okay, so these are the roles we have. Again, for this or different roles, we need to learn a different skill set. Okay, now if I talk about the data engineers, you need to know more of like clouds, you need to know Dockers, you need to know kind of data pipeline, how to build data pipelines, ETL. Okay, so all these rules you need to, all these skills you need to know. If I talk about the data analyst, it's kind of, you can start with simple like Excel's, simple like Power BI. Yeah, we'll talk about the salary. So if you talk about the data analyst, you can start with the Excel, Power BI, basic of Python, and kind of strong, solid, I would say, presence in SQL, because it's going to kind of check in the interview in the different levels. Okay, so once you have it, you can start applying, and once you kind of get the job, keep on learning, right? So everybody is learning. I'm also learning. Everyone is learning, even if you know everything, because every day there is something new, right? So you'll be learning. Talking about the salary perspective, I would say as a data analyst, if you are kind of joining any companies, okay, so it should be like on you how much, again, depends on the company as well. So now again, people are just looking for a job. There are so many people that are looking for a job, so the companies are negotiating in that way. But if it's a good company, by default they would be giving kind of 8 to 11 LP, I would say. Maybe a company like Myntra, Amazon, if you just crack them, their interview, so they would from the upfront they would already recommend, I mean, give this package. If it is a small company, at least 8 lakhs we would expect by looking the expenses. If it is less than 8 lakhs, obviously I would not recommend. Now again, depends on the company. If there is a lot of learning scope, you can join it, and you would learn more things, and then you can basically switch it. But don't go beyond, I would say, kind of 6 LPA, right? Because that's going to be very less for even surviving in any city. But if I talk about the data engineer, so I have seen like my friends, my colleagues, they are getting package of more than 30 LPA. And if it is kind of MNC or maybe the international company, they're working from home in India, so they are even getting more than kind of 60 LPA as well. Data engineer salary is very high, but initially I would recommend to start with data analyst. Okay, that's the first thing. And data scientists, I see the opportunities are there, but it's very challenging, I would say, because the ML concept are very difficult to kind of implement. New models are coming, and so a little bit challenging, I feel. So I would not recommend that. But still, if you have from the ML fields, because you have done like the machine learning diploma or degree, whatever it is, so then maybe you can consider it. But for a non-IT guy, for a person who's just coming from the non-IT, I would not recommend for the data scientist. Again, as you see the AI and everything, so a lot of things maybe would be replaced. And again, I would not comment on it, but I would recommend you go for a business analyst. Very good salary you can expect, because you may get a chance to directly work with the founders, or maybe the marketing head, or maybe the operation head. So you can expect very handsome salary, as well as maybe a lot of perks like traveling and all those things. And the second, the first, I would say, the data analyst, obviously. Then second, we have business analyst. We have BI intelligence analyst, which is called BI analyst basically, or Power BI developer as well. There are a lot of opportunities where the company is only looking for kind of the people who can create dashboards. Okay, So this all the roles are there. So easily the salary, if I talk, the start range is from kind of 8 and it goes to kind of maybe 50, 60, right? Depends on what you are targeting. For the people who have experience as a data analyst, you can target for maybe business analyst or maybe data engineer. Just learn some more skills like cloud, Linux, all those things like Docker and everything. You can kind of, give interview, and if you can crack it, maybe good companies like Cisco is offering up to 30 LPA for data engineers. Okay, starting with the like 15, right? If you have like less experience. So again, different companies having a different salary range. Depends how well you perform, and then you can negotiate the packages. Okay. All right. So I guess a lot of informations which I've shared. Anything else you want to ask?
Yeah. You have provided much information, Nazir.
Yeah, so for you, like guy who has a 5 year experience, I would say in this industry, again, the data analyst, as a data analyst, there are very rare company who will give you very good salary. So either you can target data engineering, or you can target maybe the which is called a business analyst. Okay, because you already have the data experience, right? So if you get a good opportunity, usually business analysts are required like a large experience, like higher experience. So if you can get a business analyst role, so you can demand really kind of good salary. Depends on the company, because you can showcase that this is my problem solving skills I have. If you enjoy coding and all those things, then go for data engineering. Okay, you can learn some more of like clouding and all, and big data technologies like Hadoop and all. So within 3 months, I would say 100 days roadmap if you follow, because you can easily kind of crack the interview. So you just need to learn the relevant skills which is required to clear the interview. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you
have.
then. Okay.
Thank you, Najir, for your
Thank you so much for giving your precious
valuable
time, and thank you
inputs.
so much for joining in, and we'll see you soon. Okay.